All right, here is the last drive of the Fiesta ST. It is December 12th, and I'm heading to the dealer to drop it off. It does not seem like it has been 6 months since picking up this car. So, all right, let's go take it for her last drive out. It'd be unwise not to do that at least one last time. Car is just awesome. There's no doubt about it. I really am going to miss this car. I do have to say, it is quite rare that a car company develops a car that almost perfectly matches what I would like in a car to drive. And I tell you, this car is definitely it. The Fiesta ST, 100%. It really is as if they have taken everything that I'd want in a car and put it together into one package. The amount of horsepower it has, the gearbox, even the gear ratios, the brakes, the suspension, the look of the car, the seats, everything about this car. It really is as if they kind of sat down and figured out what would Bryan want in a car, and let's just go build it. And that's exactly what they did. You know, we've had it, Bryan and I have had it at the racetrack in Nashville. We've taken it to Gingerman Raceway in South Haven. We've autocrossed it. I picked up a second place in G Stock, which is my highest finish that I've ever had in G Stock, and I think I missed it by something like 0.125 seconds, so definitely the most competitive that I've ever been in autocrossing, and it just kind of is a good testament to how good this car is. You have the feeling when you are driving it that you are confident in the car. You feel at home in the car. You feel like it was really meant for you. And when you have that level of confidence in the machine that you're operating, you find out that you could push the limit far greater than you've ever really been able to do before. And it's rare that you get a car that actually it links that closely together. And I really don't know all the elements. Is it what element really is it? Is it the engineering that goes into it? Is it the emotional connection that you have with kind of like a car that it's a sport compact, and if you're into sport compact hatches, you have a little bit, you tend to really like them more than other things. But when I look at a lot of the magazines, they all seem to really rave about this car, and they seem to think about it the same way I do, that it's just this rowdy little hot hatch that's just an absolute riot to drive. It kind of brings back the pure joy of driving, kind of like when you drive a go-kart. It's a little 5-horse go-kart at an amusement park. It's a lot of fun, but it surely isn't like mind-blowingly fast. But it's just the idea that you're driving something that is really the pure joy of being behind the wheel. And I think the Fiesta ST does that. And I think the small size, the lightweight, the amount of interaction you get with the controls. It's not an automatic transmission or flappy paddle gearbox. No, it's a traditional manual gearbox. The steering, you feel very connected with the road surface, with the way that the steering is on this. Yeah, it does have electronic power steering, and on a lot of cars that kind of gives a numb feeling that this doesn't suffer from. This car doesn't have that. The Fiesta really never did. The Fiesta's always had very good chassis dynamic and very good steering. The suspension is also very taut, which is very typical of a sport compact car. This is not a ride you'd find like in a luxury car, which is great because, well, if they built luxury cars that acted like this, I would drive one, but they don't. They build them for people who don't want to feel the road, hear every single noise of what's going on with the engine and drivetrain. And that's not what this car is all about. It's about interacting with the car. It's about the joy of being behind the wheel. These cars are rare. You don't find these type of products too often. And I am very thankful for the opportunity that Ford has given us to drive one for 6 months. I'm sure Brandon feels the same way I do. In fact, he once told me this is the most fun he's had in a car since my old Focus ZX3, which was a very rowdy hatchback. When I got done modifying it, it really was pushed too far for what it belonged on the streets. It really belonged more on a racetrack. It just didn't have all the safety equipment. It still had partial of an interior. But that car was just a lot of fun to drive, and I've been searching for the last 10 years of something that kind of provides that level of enjoyment behind the wheel. And I can honestly say the Fiesta ST is exactly that car, especially with the 3 modes of traction and stability control. I can turn things off and really have a good time just like I used to in my old car. So it's just a masterpiece of engineering. It's well thought out, it's well designed. It's an affordable car. It's not a hypercar, a supercar, or something you will never be able to afford. These are attainable cars, and you can enjoy driving them. It's really an amazing machine. I am just so thankful to have the opportunity to drive them for 6 months, and that Ford actually designed something like this for both the European market and for the US market. I only have a few months, hopefully, before I get my own on order and I can be driving this again. But thanks again, Ford. Thanks again, the Fiesta Movement. This has been a wonderful experience, and I am very thankful to be part of it. And I think this is going to be the end of the Fiesta Movement for me. Thanks again, and I'll see you later, Fiesta. Hopefully in a few more months.